welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower. With me today, we got
Kyle McIntyre. Long distance.
Long distance, but hey, Longhorn, long distance.
Oh, man,
there we
you
go.
got it.
There we go. Kyle, what's new in your world? What's shaking? What's grooving? What is good?
Oh, all right. So I'll start with something that I did a while ago, I guess, that I didn't even talk about, because we talk about everything I do in my life.
We talk about everything Texas.
Yeah. So, man, I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. But I asked you, but I installed. So I've always had these spotlights on my car, but I've never actually hooked them up.
They've been just for show, not for go.
Yeah, I mean, not for go. Yeah, they've been to intimidate people. Think I'm the fuzz. You know, I'm the long arm of the law.
The longhorn of the law.
I got these spotlights in. The longhorn of the law.
It's going to steamroll back. That was not good. Just go. I'm going to edit it out. I added out my bad jokes.
Yeah, and leave mine in. Where's he? And then you pause it. Where's he going with this? I don't know. Let's find out. Play.
Check out on the next episode of Tone Jerks Live.
No, you're doing the Wonder Years style, commentary over what I'm saying.
The Daniel Stern. And it was at that moment that I realized Kyle was a terrible host of the Tone Jerks.
Exactly. So I got these. I've had the spotlights. They've had lights in them. They've just never been hooked up. So one of them, and they're both like used police lights. Yeah. So one was like a xenon bulb, and the other one was a sealed bulb, like an old glass one. The other one was plastic. So they weren't. One was like, the plastic one was like yellowed. The glass one probably wasn't that bright. So I just got two of the same bulb and installed them. First, I put it in, fired it up, and it worked for a little bit, and then it died. I'm like, okay, well, what the heck's up with that? The light's fine. There's nothing burnt out in it. Check the fuse. Fuse is burnt out. I'm okay. So I get the next, I wire the next one in. Mm-hmm. I had to actually experiment with different size fuses. So the first fuse was like a 20 amp, that fried. Got a 25 amp, put it in there, that fried. Got a 30 amp one in there, and I'm like, worked. I'm like, all right, perfect. So it's the max. It's like maxing out the amperage, basically.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot for lights.
It is.
Well, I guess they're meant to be super bright.
They are so bright. They're brighter than my headlights, actually, which were already bright.
Damn.
I can drive with just one of them going.
Are they LEDs or what?
They're LEDs. Yeah, there's like 9 LEDs on each one.
Hell yeah.
And they're just super bright. So I got it so I could spot the deer.
Use them to fucking spot yeah, that's what I was thinking, on the sides or whatever.
Yeah. So it works out really well, actually. It's just, you drive around at night with your high beams on, mm-hmm. And you see a car in front of you, turn them off. But now I have, one more thing I have to do. I have to turn those off and turn off the light on the side. But
is there a switch to do that, or do you have to go on?
It's on the actual light. It's just like a little throw switch.
Okay, so you can't do both at the same time.
Well, I could run both lights at the same time.
One switch to turn them off?
Yeah, well, so the switch is on the actual light itself. So I have to hit the brights off, or turn those off, and then reach and actually turn the light off on the handle. And then the other one on the right side, which I have to figure out why that stopped working. I think it just got connection on it. Anyways, it's a swivel connection, so I think it popped off. But it's really bright, dude.
Yeah.
It's so super bright. But it's great. You turn all these crazy twisty turns. I can actually, right when I get to the turn the light and aim down around the corner. I'm like, this is so awesome. Yeah, it's spot anything, and it helps out spotting deer and other animals.
Have you seen them as you're driving and avoided them because of that?
Oh yeah.
It's paying for itself, baby.
Yeah, man. But what's funny is I haven't been very close to hitting a deer. I've been so close to hitting cats, out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh man.
The other day there were probably 7 or 8 cats in the middle of the road. They were kittens, I should say. There were 7 or 8 kittens with one mom cat.
Oh
And
god.
they're just hanging out. And I saw them, so I stopped and put my hazards on, and like they're just chilling there. Didn't move until my truck has like, this is my work truck, has like an automatic, like it turns off if I brake, if I stop completely, it turns off. And then once it kicked back on, they all scattered. I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Like you were in the middle of the fucking road.
You didn't honk your horn or anything?
No, I didn't want to.
Well, that probably would have worked.
I could have, but sometimes like it doesn't work. I know for like deer, they don't respond to that sometimes. They just stare.
They're like, oh,
deer.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what's his problem?
They're such majestic creatures.
Yeah, just dumb as hell.
That's what I still think. I'm like, oh man, don't hit a deer. But I'm like, other parts of the country, they're like, these are just like fucking rats.
Pests. Yeah, exactly. Large, like 150-pound rats.
Exactly.
So that was, a couple of days ago at night. Also, it was like pitch black, and I almost ran these things over. But they scattered, so that was good. Middle of the day. Just the other day, so I'm driving with my wife, and I'm heading down this country road straight, and I'm like going too fast, probably. I mean, too fast, too furious.
Yeah, too fast, too furious.
Too furious. Too fast, too furious.
You got Luda.
So I was hauling. I was going like 60 when it probably should have been going 45, and this cat just decides There's no one else in front of me. There's no one else behind me. It just decides to cross the road right there, like right then. And I had to brake and turn the wheel. And I thought for sure I hit this thing still. Like it disappeared like below my like hood line. Like I couldn't see it. Yeah. Like on the right side of my car. Like I thought I did a really good job of avoiding it. So I stopped. Got out and I was looking for it. I'm like, this thing, I hit it. Like I couldn't see it. Like over the fence, it's like a barbed wire fence, and then there's like woods. I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't see a cat.
Because in your head, you're like, I know for fuck's sake, my wife is going to be so pissed. But even more so, Brian is going to be really pissed if I hit this thing.
Oh yeah, Brian's gonna be more pissed. Then there's the other thing is like, what am I gonna do if this thing's been hit? Like, what am I doing? But at least I would know. Like, I could tell someone if their cat. But most of the cats out there are like, they're not owned by anyone. They're just like
hanging out,
strays.
Yeah,
like that's weird. Like out here, like my mom lives in like a wooded area, and there's stray cats living out in the woods. Mm-hmm. And then here, there's stray cats too. You drive around, you see them, just like that one,
Yeah.
But, I've never had one jump out, and like, it was so close. Like, I must have hit its tail. Like, that's how close it was. Like,
yeah. I think it was it like, we saw like, Louis J. Gomez. He's from New York. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He was like, he was like, it just, San Diego is so clean. He's like, you're in downtown San Diego? He's like, there's no cats and shit running around. He's like, nothing. It's like, there would be cats everywhere and just like a fucking gang of dogs in New York.
Yeah.
He's like,
just roaming around.
And we're from San Diego, and we're like, downtown is gross.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is like the cleanest fucking place I've ever been to.
Yeah, I can show you some spots.
And I'm like, there's
some human shit on the ground. I can show you some spots.
But it's not even that bad in comparison to like the nasty parts of New York.
Oh yeah.
He's like, there's cats just jumping around on trash cans and shit. And you're like, it's like I haven't seen one goddamn one.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's like
and then I thought about it. I'm like, he's right. I've never seen a cat around. Like, unless it's a residential area.
It's like with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he's like describing like why he eats the cat food, and then he doesn't correlate, like he eats the cat food which causes all the cats outside of his door to meow, and like which keeps him up at night, but he eats the cat food so it makes him feel sick, so he goes to sleep early and he falls. It's like it's a never-ending cycle. but there's like a choir of cats outside the.
And then he huffs the paint and whatever. And then
yeah, it's like the cycle he's created himself. It's so dumb.
I haven't seen that show in forever, but I need to.
Oh man.
But
okay, so I back to what's new. I guess I keep talking about this bass amp that I got.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty stoked on it actually.
I think did you actually play bass through it?
No, I haven't yet. Okay. No, I did. The first time I bought it. Yeah, the first day.
Oh, the slide. Yeah,
I played the fretless.
I was gonna say slide bass, but it's kind of like that. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Sliding up and down, nothing to stop me. No frets. No. It's just all flat wounds.
A slip and slide.
Like, sir, can you grease this? Can you put some bacon grease on this fretboard? I want to really be slipping and sliding.
I'm one of those bacon guys.
I'm one of those bacon guys. You tell them that when you're buying it.
It's like, bro, this isn't 2012 anymore. Bacon isn't an identity. Oh shit. Yeah. Is craft beer? Question mark?
Still is. So I've actually been playing guitar still through it, but I've been running like all my effects through it, but I've been taking it outside. I've been playing out since I'm out in the woods here.
Yeah.
Out in the sticks.
I have my own amphitheater.
The boondocks. Yeah. So it actually takes pedals really, really well.
The boondock ain'ts.
Ain'ts. That's pretty good. That's the name of the episode. Boom.
We're done.
Yeah, we can call it. Dang, you're so good.
Dang, dude.
You've been practicing?
Dang, this is how we start winning podcasts, is by doing them 10 minutes. And then we're done.
Yeah. No, we don't give up like other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, teamwork makes the cream work, buddy.
Makes the cream work.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I've been running, which this probably helps a lot. Running my Strymon pedals, Strymon pedals through it. Man, they sound great, bro.
I have $1,200 worth of pedals through this thing. Man, it sounds good.
I wish it was that, but no, I need to get the other one to make it that much.
Well, and then all the other ones, but yeah. And then you're like, oh, I have a really like a nice guitar with expensive boutique shit, and I'm like, man, this happens to sound good. Even the cables are boutique.
Yeah, everything sounds so good.
And you're like, why don't
I can hear it? Tone is in the cables, bro.
Tone is in the everything else.
Yeah, not the amp. Yeah, so playing it outside. It's awesome. It's great to turn, and it's actually really loud. It's actually a really loud amp. I haven't even gone past
it's 25 watts or 50.
It's 25.
Okay. Yeah.
So I haven't even got past maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
Like it's pretty loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll try go a little bit louder, but it's fun running that EQ. Like the GE7,
mm-hmm.
Amazing. I've talked about it. And the Sugar Drive, and then the 2 Strymon pedals, the Timeline and the Big Sky. Amazing.
But yeah, you were saying fun. Like playing it outside, you're just letting it rip.
Oh yeah, and you can really experiment with more gain, or kind of bring it back a little bit, or. Except, I guess when you're doing it through the setup on the, like your solid state, I guess through the Focusrite and stuff and all that, you can't really throw too much gain on it, or it'll, I guess, digital clip,
Yeah, which is not good. Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound good, and you can't get rid of it once you get it in there, and I'm sure it does something to... I mean, the waveform is, bad, whatever. I'm sure there's other things that not good about it, but, it's fun. It's just like, obviously it's not like playing a tube amp,
but now that you're able, you're at a place where you can just throw things wide open, you got to get a tube amp.
Yeah.
Or you just get a fucking a full stack and play it.
Oh, damn. Run an extension cord out into the woods.
On the yeah. Boom.
Well, it's like 30 acres, I think. So it's like...
You're just like, all you hear is like,
good.
I don't know, where you're dragging everything out there. And it's like...
Just play that a couple times and then, all right, I'm good. Walk back in, drag it all back.
Or was a day tripper.
Yeah.
You play a couple of those riffs and you're like, all right, that was good enough. And you get the tractor, bring it back.
I've gotten really into listening to like classic rock, I guess, but really getting into like the super epic sounding like songs. But I mean, for me, I guess epic sounding songs are like Thin Lizzy, Boys Are Back in Town, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean, listening to like those unisons and those guitar solos, I'm like, damn, I want to play those. I want to learn those. So I was doing that the other day. I'm like trying to look at guitar tabs. I'm like, that's not at all what he's playing. What are you doing? Who comes up with these things? Like
downvote. Yeah,
like who tuned your guitar? That's not at all what they're playing. Or like, I don't
wrong.
know.
Sorry.
Because I can listen to it and go, no, he doesn't do that note twice. He does like an open string and then into like the whatever 6 on whatever string it is. Like, but he doesn't.
You go on your keyboard and you're like the cat with the. You start just like, listen here, motherfucker.
Whoever comments on like this. People, I don't know, some of those forums, like, you deserve to be in like rotten hell. It's like people that comment on porn, it's like, why are you doing this? It's the same thing.
It was, I think I made that joke to Andrew Walsh, because he was like on a thread where somebody was like totally just like bitching about some like cheap like Donner pedal.
Yeah.
And then Andrew was saying, oh, the experience that I had if you tried contacting them. I'm like, and like the person was just going off and just like fucking like being a real asshole. And I was like, man, people who comment on like, I don't know, product ads, are the same people that comment on porn videos. And then Andrew Walsh is like, oh, I've never really looked at those. And I'm like, I mean, it was kind of a joke, but I mean, they're funny sometimes.
Yeah, like, no one wants to know your opinion
or
on anything.
On like a porn video. It's like there was one that I saw where it's like somebody's like, "Hey man, when you're done with this, add me on Xbox and let's go play Call of Duty." When you're done with this jerk off.
Yeah, we can be friends. I know we can.
I know you like the same things I do. So when you're done with this jerk, go hit me up on Xbox.
But that guy, that person, they probably get invites all the time or friends.
They're probably
like, what the hell?
Probably a good advertisement.
Who's adding me? Why do I get so many?
I should probably do that. It's like, hey, when you're done with this jerk, go check out this jerk on the Tone Jerks podcast.
Oh yeah. That's probably, we don't necessarily want that crowd, but we already have that crowd.
We may or may not have that crowd.
Yeah,
but
we don't know.
Yeah, our listenership goes into the millions.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? They speak my language, actually. I don't know anything about tone, but I know anything about, jerking. So I'm going to wait till they talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about
when do they start talking about jerking?
We're getting too silly. It's a little fast and loose.
Yeah.
All right. A little late here. Both sides.
Yeah, playing the amp outside is awesome. Yeah. I never thought it would be so cool to play. Just kind of noodle around and try, stuff. And but yeah, I was saying I'm trying to learn some of those solos from some of the guitar, solos on guitar from some of those classic rock songs.
Yeah,
and let's start at a really difficult one.
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. Yeah, don't even get started. I thought I could play some of those, and then you make fun of me every time I try and play. What is it? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Da, na, na. Anyways, I can't remember the name of the song, but I guess another thing that's new. I went out today actually into Lake Travis, which is the last lake I was in was Lady Bird Lake, which is like right against like downtown Austin.
Mm-hmm.
This one is kind of out like north of me here, so it's like I don't know. It's a pretty big lake, but to get around it, you have to like drive like an hour and a half to get around the outside. So it's pretty crazy. But my brother, Cameron, he has friends that have like a lake house, and I know it's something you have out here. It's like, oh yeah, we got a regular house, but then we have a lake house, and then we got stuff that you do at a lake there that we have jet skis and a boat. And so it was kind of cool. We went out on the lake in the boat. The guy's talking to me. Oh yeah, this thing's got like 400 horsepower. It's like, geez.
You're like,
yeah. Oh shit.
You're like, I know exactly what that means. All right, let me take control of this hog.
Yeah, cool. You've told me everything I need to know about this fine baby.
You just like, wah! Open this shit up.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, if he was watching the Grand Tour, and he was talking about like boats. He's like, it's one of the only vehicles that you run it full open throttle all the time.
Yeah.
Like a boat, you don't run it low unless like you're trying to stay at a certain speed. If you have open water ahead of you, you're like full power. You don't do that in a car, Not everyone. Some people do, I guess, but like you're just going full speed ahead in a boat. Like
I think only a couple times I've like actually put like my foot all the way down on my car.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go above like 70. Like that's when I'm trying to get up to speed. And then when I'm up to speed, I'm like, I take it off, but I'm like, I think if I like open that shit up, I probably would get I think the fastest I've ever gone is like maybe 80.
Oh, you go faster, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Probably something would rattle loose.
Yeah, exactly. My truck. Hey, I'm trying to let this thing go for another year or two.
Yeah.
I can't afford it.
Easy.
Take it easy, my truck.
So we went out there. They were doing this thing called, I guess it's wake surfing. It's not like wakeboarding where you rely on the boat to pull you through the water, right? So like the boat kind of goes at a slow speed and makes this really like a perfect wave for you to ride on, like you're surfing it. So it was kind of cool. The people, I mean, I didn't try it. No, hell no. But my brother did. He was actually pretty good on it. Mm-hmm. So it looked really difficult because you're literally laying in the water.
You're not going to go
waiting for the.
You're not going to go Kyle Slater on that shit?
Yeah. No. No thanks. I'd blow out a knee or something. Both of them probably. I'd bend them backwards. Hyperextend.
You're going to bend them like Kyle.
It's not a soccer reference or anything.
It's like... was like a mantis or something. That's how your legs.
Yeah. Like a chicken.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of cool. You ride that wave, and then like the boat has to sit in a certain position. Like you have to put people on one side of the boat, and then he's got to rev the engine low, but then put the trim tabs down so it makes like the really crazy like wake, and it lifts like the water up, and then they can ride it. And then they kind of tow them for a little bit like it's like you're wakeboarding, but then they throw the line back in. They can ride right behind the boat and have the wake basically pull it or push the whoever's boarding, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool to see that. And and then we got hauled ass a little bit around in the boat after people were done doing that. And then, came in and it was raining. Actually, just rain came out of nowhere. And then after the rain, Cameron and we swam in the lake.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. It wasn't illegal like other times we swam in lakes around here.
Oh, really?
That one time, the first time we went out there, apparently you're not supposed to.
Why?
So I guess because of, I don't know, actually. I think it's really because they want you to pay to swim in the actual swimming area that's like behind like a fence or something. I think that's the real reason.
Oh.
I have no idea. And they have these signs that are like, oh no, toxic algae in the water. I don't know. But they let you swim in the swimming area. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, sounds like it's fake to me.
I thought this was supposed to be free over here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so that was fun. That was Lake Travis.
There you go.
So I'm getting my punch card for all the lakes in the area. So just
speaking of punch card.
Oh yeah, perfect segue to your what's new. What's new with you, Brian?
Well, thank you. Let's see. I played a show with Just In Case, and we played with our friends from San Diego, Punch Card. We played over in Adelanto, which is like Victorville, basically. Which we played like it's out there, and it was played yesterday, and it was a hot one, I tell you. We played for like some motorcycle like pit. I don't know, like jumps and dirt and so I'm saying all the wrong things because I don't know what it was. It was like motorcycle jumps and BMX kind of thing and
motocross.
Yeah, kind of. But there's also smaller bikes where people are just kind of doing small jumps and just
okay.
Whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was I played bass and Just In Case. And we played with our friends. Punch Card and a bunch of other bands kind of like from Southern California. And it was, it was a pretty good show. It was some things were just like unprepared for of just like how hot it was. I was
did you say how far away it was from?
It was like about 2.5 hours away.
Okay. So it's not super far, but it is pretty far.
Yeah, to play a show.
Yeah, it's almost like 2 counties away, I guess.
Yeah. And it was an outdoor show. And so outdoors meaning it was in the sun, and where Victorville is, it's like it's just kind of deserty.
Yeah, it's high. It's considered, I think, high desert. So it's like a higher altitude, but it's still desert. And people think, high altitude must be like trees, and it's like no. I mean, you got cactus. And
I just didn't even think about shit. So I wore black jeans, black shirt.
Oh hell yeah!
no sunglasses.
Oh no!
I brought no sunscreen.
Oh man!
But luckily, sunscreen. Brian came prepared.
Oh hell yeah! The better Brian, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Did he bring you white clothes?
No. But he came like he was wearing shorts. He was wearing he got the big weave dad hat on. He got the sunglasses.
Oh, man.
He's got the the only thing missing was the zinc on his nose.
Oh yeah, yeah, bros, you going out in the tasty waves?
He needed to be like salute your shorts, kind of zinc on his nose.
Yeah,
but no, he was good. He was straight. But I was just like, dude, I should have wore shorts.
Yeah.
But anyways, besides that, play the show. I guess I'll start with my own performance. It was probably the worst show I've ever played. I kept fucking up.
Oh man.
And I was like making sure not to drink because I'm like, dude, I drink a gallon of water before we even played.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
stay hydrated.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to drink beer. I maybe had like 2 beers and like one on stage. And people are like, oh, Brian, you want another beer? I'm like, no, dude, I can't have any beer. I'm just trying to drink water because I'm like, I keep fucking up. I keep fucking up. There's like little things in my head because it was so loud. that I could, or the way the monitoring was, it was good. And I could hear my fuck up so loud. And Brian and Adam were in ears. So I'm like, they can hear me even better.
Dang.
And my fuck ups were like, one time I hit the wrong note and Adam was like, you should hit like an A, not a D. And luckily they're like relatives of each other. So it wasn't too bad for music wise, but it was like, Adam was like, looked at me like, his eyebrows like and eyes open up. It's like, it's like, I can almost hear him sucking in air through his nose. Like,
yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it. And then just like slides, because I do a lot like of slides, kind of like how your style, where it's like you slide into the note to try and be more groovy or whatever. But I kept missing it. I would miss the
like you go flat or sharp or something.
Or no, I would actually miss the string, and my finger went underneath it.
Oh my! What?
It happened more than once. And like, I'm like, God, I was like, man. I'm like, this, dude, I'm like, this is like, I felt like embarrassed to be playing at that caliber.
At the place you're playing?
No, just to, like my performance. I'm like, okay. And the thing is, we have been well rehearsed every Monday for the past 6 weeks, playing the set like twice. And
they just think that you're like bad now. Like you're just
no. I'm like know. Easily
stage fright.
Easily. I was like, I'm like, man, I definitely was tired because like our load in was so early for being 2.5 hours away.
Load explain this because you told me, but go back. Like you.
Okay, yeah. So our load in. So the promoter who set up the show, I think he was kind of new to setting up like bands. So he was thinking of like vendors.
We'll go back further because you were saying that you even like had like no sleep.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess I'll set up the vendor, the guy.
Not to handicap yourself and tell everyone. And make excuses.
I know exactly. I want to say that excuse, but it's not. I just fucked up. So, anyways, the promoter was saying that you guys got to get here at 7 a.m.
Oh man,
for like a 3 p.m. performance.
Yeah, 2 hour drive or 2.5 hour drive.
And so we're like,
7
he's like, oh no, there's fires here, marshals or whatever. They won't let people load in at a certain time because like the venue, because the event's already going. And I'm like, and we've never been there. I'm like, oh, fuck, what if he's right? And we're like, fuck, okay, let's go. And we get there, he's wrong. So, but anyways, before we even get there, I'm like, okay, dude, I mean, like I have to work, and I close, so I get off work at 9. I'm like, okay. And then I had a buddy from Hollywood, LA. He's
Hollywood,
big time, and I haven't seen him in like probably a year and a half. He's like, "Oh, I'm in San Diego for the weekend. Can I, see you?" I'm like, "Oh shit." He's like, "I'm free Saturday." I'm like, "I totally am not." It was like, "I'm free Friday." I'm like, "I'm not, except after work." And so I just hung out with him, and so I really wanted to see my friend Train, Austin Train, and hung out with him, and it was awesome just to talk. We just talked for a couple, like several hours. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I'm like, it's midnight. I have to get up at 3:30 to go to a show. And I'm like, I'll make it work. Right. I'm a young man. I can make it work.
Did you drive?
No, Brian drove. That's kind of another reason why I was like, nah, I can make it. Because Brian was responsible and went to bed at like 8:30 or 9. He's like, I feel pretty good. I'm like, well, because you had fucking 7 hours of sleep. But hey, I did it to myself because I'm like, I wanted my cake and eat it, to eat it too. So hung out with Train, and then I got no sleep, and then I'm like, all right, let's play the show. And so we get there, and we're just in the sun baking all day, and then I just kept fucking up, and I played.
Do you know how hot was it there?
It wasn't that bad. It was like probably the 80s. But it's just your sun,
yeah.
Mm. So I played like shit, and then I had like problems with the baseboard. There was like this noise level, and so that kind of like put me off of like I'm already tripping. I'm like, this sucks. I was getting noise because it was like like a gas generator. I don't know if that had something to do with the power.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
all I was getting from the baseboard,
It's not clean.
well, the baseboard, even though it has a power conditioner, like the True Tone deal,
Yeah.
it still was. I was getting like really low, but I still heard it, and I was doing the
It's a grounding issue probably.
bypassing that, and I'm like, okay, yep, nope, it's still getting there. So I just went straight into the amp, which luckily Punch Card Mike, he provided an awesome bass rig.
Yeah, let's talk about that thing because you sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, I've never heard of that amp before.
Yeah. So it was like an orange, I think, was it orange 4-stroke.
Yeah, it's right up my alley. That one sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. It was a orange 4-stroke 300, which is their they came out with the OB 500 and then the 300, and then also the 4-stroke, which is more the OB series is more of like a simplified version of an amp. You know, a bass amp, you would have like, oh, here's your treble, bass, EQ, volume, and gain, and you know the blend between them. But this is more of like a lot more EQ options, and it's cleaner, bass tone, so no drive. So it has volume, and it has like the parametric EQ, which is a lot. Probably 6 knobs for EQ.
Yeah, 6 knobs. Jeez.
And it was great. So I was like, dude,
wasn't a graphic EQ? It just actually had knobs.
It had knobs for it. I guess it's like a graphic EQ, but with knobs. I guess
it's easier to make that.
I guess, yeah,
or maybe hardier too. I don't know.
And then he had a rack tuner. So I was like, okay, cool. The Korg pitch black, and you could see it in daylight. So I'm like, yep. Thank God for Punch Card, because I'm like, this bass amp. I went right into his rig, and it sounded great. And it has a built-in compressor. So I basically got it to where I'm like, oh, I left all his settings because it sounded good, and I just threw his compressor back a little bit, and yep, it sounded great. So,
nice.
It's not as dirty as I would like, but
well, it's probably perfect for was it Brian doesn't like dirty bass?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so
you got dirty looks for other reasons, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, I had my fuck ups, and I was like, oh god, and he was like, oh, I didn't notice. I only noticed the one time where I hit the wrong note. He noticed,
and he's lying to you.
And then and I know, I was like, fucking, I'm like, god damn it. All this work and all the time and everything, and I just did not play that well. No, you ever have those shows? You're like,
oh yeah,
I fucking yeah.
Like you knew everything. It's just that, like in that very second that you were supposed to hit that note, you didn't hit it, or yeah. And then once it's like a avalanche. Once one thing happens, it's like you're gonna make more mistakes unless you can get a hold of yourself.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I was like, oh god, this fucking sucked. I did not play, and it was an hour set too. I'm like, oh god.
Oh man.
I was like, god damn it, more opportunities to fuck up. But whatever. Yeah. We did it, and then but it was it wasn't my best, but we survived. And then our friends Punch Card, they actually killed it. They were before us, and they sounded so fucking good. I've seen them before, like at Tower Bar and other places, and yeah, they sounded really good. I actually got them on the podcast to do like a bonus episode.
Nice.
And yeah, it was cool. Like they're like, oh, they were doing like a couple live streams during quarantine. They did, recording, and they're working on new stuff. And I'm like, man, the first time maybe hearing them so clear, because like at Tower Bar, it's not the best, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just
Tower Bar,
basically a practice PA. And then,
exactly.
At that venue, I'm like, everything's mic'd up. You could hear everything. I'm like, God, I mean, yeah, they were awesome. I was like, they were doing the 3-part harmonies. I'm like, really well. Because I'm like, the drummer sings lead, bass sings lead, guitar sings lead. And then they all do harmonies for each other. And so they do the part where it's like 3-part harmonies. I'm like, oh shit, you guys crush it. I'm like, I need to step it up.
Dang.
But yeah, it was awesome. So I guess keep an ear out. So the Friday after this episode, their bonus episode will come out. So check that out. And then
Nice.
let's see. I do have maybe I rescind my comments on the last episode about my mouse pad. I think I said how much it kind of sucked because I was expecting it to be like more grainier looking and stuff like that. It's awesome. It's way better than my last mouse pad because I was even just like playing, messing around with the mouse. It's so much more responsive than it used to be. Because I think my old mouse pad, I guess that makes a difference.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't have thought that. I thought it just looks cooler.
Yeah. I mean, how smooth it is or
I have no idea.
texture?
Yeah, I have like a Logitech, I don't know, G602 gamer mouse. And it's way better than it used to be. I'm like, so I guess it is good. So I guess go check out Grove Made. They make good stuff. We're not sponsored, but I was like shat on it. I'm like, actually, it's pretty good. And then,
how much? Okay. What was the price point of this leather?
It's $30.
If you can talk about it. Okay. All right.
So it's
is this like a standard size? Is it just like a standard size one or is it a little bit bigger?
That's standard. You can get a little bit bigger, and then you can get a little bit bigger with like a pen tray and stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, if you like the look of it, go get it. But if you want just like a standard looking mouse pad, I think the one that you're probably going to say is really good. The one that I bought is good.
No, I mean, I just got it's like standard, right?
Uh-huh.
I have a Corsair one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything crazy. I think I remember spending it's like a bigger mouse pad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, what, they're 8x8 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger. Mine's like, I don't know, 11x14.
Yeah. I think mine's probably a little bit small. I could bust out the tape measure, but no, it's fine. I have a small desk and it works out. I think it looks good. And then I was like, oh, this fucking sucks. When I actually use it, I'm like, oh, it actually performs well too. So I guess. Well, since I did that like podcast kind of on the spot with Punch Card, it made me think of like, I want to try doing more of those and more on like the scene kind of
on the go.
Yeah. Kind of podcasts or video.
Punch Card, you just played a kick-ass show. How do you feel?
Yeah. Something like that.
Coming off the stage, like, dude, I'm trying to unload my gear, dude. Could you like fuck off?
I don't know. I mean, they were actually, they could be just lying to me, but I'm like, oh, this is a cool idea. I'm like, all right, maybe I could make it work of doing podcasts at venues because more shit's opening up. Like, I guess in a couple weeks, I guess in California, it's like, oh, opening up. Just in case is getting like gigs of like, you want to play here? Want to play here? And we go, whoa, chill out. we got to not play every fucking month.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like everything's
especially
opening up.
You need some more practice. So
yeah, I need more sleep. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I need more sleep. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
I need more sleep and more clean power.
Because you were killing it in practice.
Exactly.
I think that's what it was. Just the sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's chalk it up to a bad night's sleep. Tossing and turning all night.
Let's just say that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm like, oh man, maybe I could do more like on site, like at shows of like combo with videos of like, oh, let's do like a quick like run and gun gear rundown.
Yeah.
And then like, end it with like a quick like 10-minute podcast. I don't know. I got these ideas, man. I got these ideas. But yeah, that's kind of what's news. Oh, damn. It's a long what's news.
Yeah. I just looked at the time too. I'm like, whoa,
shit. I don't know. I kind of, I mean, with the podcast and everything, I'm like, oh, it's really you and I just catching up.
Yeah.
And more than ever, it's us like, oh, we haven't really talked in a week, so let's talk. But we get some topics. What do you
yeah, let's
hit them up
and quit them.
Hit them and quit them. Let's do it. Okay, so this was one that I kind of tossed your way. Loose topic, but let's hit it up. It's I think it's kind of more of like a music topic rather than a gear one.
Gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, as like a consumer or whatever, what do you like more? The idea of like single song releases, EPs, or like full albums?
Yeah. Okay. You want me to go?
Yeah. Go for it. Not even like a bang, marry, kill. We're not going to do that. It's just
Yeah.
So a single song, because like a lot of bands kind of just do maybe like a single. Like, oh, here's a song, which is kind of cool, right?
It's like a big band flexes with a single.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think when like smaller bands can't really. I mean, you could do that, but you're paying like $100 to release that. You know, I don't know, out of pocket. You know, whatever, and then artwork and adjusting for that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't really like singles. When you're searching for like a song and you're like, no, I don't want the single version, or like I want to at least have more songs I can listen to if I'm listening to it. Like so at least on Spotify, you click. For me, I have like the repeat on.
Yeah.
So like the album repeat. So like album ends, it starts over again. Why? Yeah, you click on that, and there you listen to this one song.
Oh, like, really? You have the album
over? Yeah. Why? Well, when you don't have it on, it goes to like a random song by the artist, or it goes to the radio station. So why would I want that?
Yeah, I guess I've been listening.
Sell me on it. No, just kidding.
No. Wait, no. I guess I said that, and I'm like I'm walk it back. You're right. That's what I have.
I have the album repeat, not the single repeat.
I totally rescind my remarks on that.
Thank you.
In real time.
I reclaim my time.
Me and Grovemade, thank you.
So you have like, I have the single repeat on, so it would just repeat the one song over and over again. I think I listen to more playlists than albums. Well, I make playlists. I don't really like the playlists that Spotify has available.
Yeah.
So an EP, I think, is kind of cool because it's, usually smaller bands put those out, right? So like not like a huge, someone that's backed by a huge label. It's kind of cool because it's almost like, hey, this is what we had available. These are the songs, sometimes there's some winners on there, and usually it's like, no filler,
Yeah.
It's like no filler on the songs. They didn't
all killer, no filler.
Yeah. Well, that's not an EP. Thank you.
Well, but I mean, I mean, besides that, but I'm like that kind of idea of like, we have to put our best out because like, we don't have the money to just like, here's just like a fucking bullshit one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I wish that was not the latest album from Green Day, but the one before that or whatever it was, not the one with the unicorn on it, but
Revolution Radio.
Yeah. That one has like 4 or 5 songs that are good. It's like, that could have been an EP.
Yeah. But they're like just fulfilling a contract of like,
exactly.
Oh yeah. Or like, they're like, hey, we
have to have 14 songs or whatever it is.
We're fucking loaded. So might as well just like, you got an idea? No. Well, let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find something that's good. And they did have a couple good ones.
Yeah.
But you could tell they did not take the time.
Yeah.
Because they don't care. They just don't care anymore.
They don't have to.
And then, And then albums, I guess it just depends on, obviously all of this depends on the music you're listening to. I sound like an idiot. What depends on the album? I almost said that. But I don't know. I think, I don't really like, sometimes like I think I kind of mentioned it earlier with the EP is like, you have a lot more possibility for filler. And so,
yeah, with the album.
Yeah. And not always, not always.
Yeah.
But you have the, potential to have some shit in there. Mm-hmm. But I think EPs are more pure. It's like, yeah, hey, we've had these songs that we made on tour. We stopped in a studio and we recorded them. Here they are. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
The best of the best with the EP.
Yeah,
because big bands don't do that. They do not do EPs.
Yeah,
I think very singles rarely they do.
Yeah, well, back to singles is like sometimes they release a single and there's like 3 songs on it. Like that's not a single, guys. Do you guys?
Well, they have the single
understand?
and then B-sides and shit.
Yeah, you have the single, which is like, oh, this is the one that's going to the radio station.
What?
You know?
Yeah, I guess I think of singles from like maybe the smaller bands perspective of like
they still treat it like an EP.
Or no, like the single, it's not even a single, it's just a song.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between the single and a song.
Yeah.
Because like local bands, small bands or whatever, they're going to put a song out. And that's all they can do because like that's it. But people are thinking, well, a single is 4 songs. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's an EP.
Mm-hmm. Where it's like a song.
What does EP stand for? Early pressing or something?
Extended press.
Extended press. What's it extending? Except for obvious, you know.
Extends.
You remember those commercials?
Wasn't it just a guy with smiling the whole time?
Yes.
Why? Because he's got a boner?
Yeah.
Like that's like
he doesn't have a boner. He has like a bigger one.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to like enhance. Yeah.
Yeah.
The male anatomy.
Oh, there you go. Well, oh man, what a dumbass world.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, I'm gonna buy those.
It's stupid.
Yeah. What is it? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Songs.
Okay. What's yours? Well, I guess what are your thoughts on that?
I think with the albums, it's
thoughts,
more.
Please.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments. I think with the album, it's definitely more like a specific nostalgic thing. Like I think my favorite albums are the ones that I maybe grew up on. You know, I think I was telling you the other day. I'm like, I listened to American Idiot again with Green Day. Again with the Green Day. Oh, geez. I just put that on. I'm like, the whole thing sounds great. Still, it sounds awesome. I can't remember what.
Yeah, I got to give it another run because there's some songs I'm like, oh man, I got to listen to
that one.
Was it Letter Bomb?
Yeah,
or, come across some of those, but I'm like, I probably should listen to this whole album again.
Yeah, and I don't remember what I was doing. I think it was like editing photos or taking photos of just like my pedals and waifus and shit like that, and I was just listening to that, and I was like, doing important shit.
yeah, enhancing my being, bettering myself.
Yeah, and then folding underwear. I'm like, man, my life is sick. Listening to Green Day as my soundtrack to do that. But
it's your enabler.
Yeah. So I was listening. I'm like, man, this whole album's great. But it could be just that the fact that I was like, that was like in the age of the album.
Yeah,
that might be it because I'm like, I can't. I mean, I guess other ones would be newer. Would be. I mean, let's see, Flatliners. I guess I like that one.
Fuck, man.
With the Old Light or whatever it was called. That was like the newest one with the old
Inviting Light.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
Although I mean, I dug Cavalcade more.
Hell yeah.
Even though it's older, I got into it recently. I guess
Cavalcade is like every song on that is good.
100%. You can listen to
everything is good
on repeat. You can listen to that.
But that's rare, man. That is rare to have every single song good. Even like a quarter of the songs, or like, half, whatever. I mean, I don't know.
I think
it's also rare to find new music, I guess, is another thing. But
that you
right now,
new music of full albums.
Yeah.
That are good, by the way. They had to be good.
Yeah.
People are like,
that's kind of the number one requirement.
This person released an album. Is it good? Well, I rescind that comment.
Yeah, I plead the fifth on that one. I don't want to incriminate myself.
C2A released, I think, last year. Senpai 3, which is like his series of doing anime-themed music. Basically, it would sound like it could be an opener or like an ending or soundtrack for an anime. And he's like a prog rock, like prog metal instrumentalist. So it's kind of like random. Yeah, he's great guitarist and shit like that. But it's like randomly will come into like crazy like guitar riffs and shit like that. I'm like,
is he scoring video games yet?
No, it'd be crazy if he did. But he did like first EP, and then he did like another second EP, but he did a full length for the third one. And so I say that would be the full length album that I'm like, oh, the most recent one. But it's instrumental, so it's like, I guess how much that could be music or not, you know. But for me, I'm like, oh, I can listen to that whole thing. And then as far as as far as EPs go, I think that's the same thing as you said. It's the best of the best.
Yeah.
So for smaller bands and artists, that's what all they can do, and it's usually they're like, I'm gonna put the best that I can out.
Yeah. Well, even like going back into like older bands that you think that all their songs were good, you know, or like, I don't know, maybe you don't think that, but I was listening to, I guess because I'm living out here, I'm like listening to all different types of music. It sounds stupid. It's like, I guess your environment, you know, or, you know, my brother listens to something, I kind of go off on, you know, some of those things, but I was listening to,
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me. Never mind.
No, and this isn't really, I mean, it's Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's not really country music.
Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah.
Southern rock, right?
Yeah.
So it is. So I was like listening to some of that stuff, and I'm like, some of those songs you hear are all off their first album, you know? So like, Freebird is off of their first album.
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know, two other ones, I don't know, it's like the one that's from Happy Gilmore, you know, or in Happy Gilmore. That one's on their first record. But then there's like 3 really good songs on that record out of like 10.
Ever actively listened to them?
Yeah. I just kind of
I guess like, I know we're on like, guitar. I guess we're a musicians podcast. I don't know. Whatever we are. We're entertainment, baby. But I'm like, to say that on like this podcast, I'm like, I don't think I've ever like, I'm like, I'm going to listen to them today.
Yeah.
No, I've never done that. Maybe I will.
It's Simple Man and like Tuesday's Gone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 songs are on one record.
Yeah.
Right. And then those are like really popular songs. Like all of those are in there, like on Spotify, like their number 1 plays.
Damn.
And then you have like, I think Sweet Home Alabama came on the next record, but then none of the rest of that album is like ever played.
Well, I guess, yeah,
like,
because that kind of plays into like my idea of like singles and songs.
Yeah.
You could just
those are the singles, right? But
yeah, you can throw that like just a single song, not like the single, but of like a single song you could throw on a playlist.
Yeah.
Like your own playlist, or like I listen to a lot of like playlists on Spotify. Either for like, you know, anime or whatever, but a lot of them are anime. Like here's the Love Live playlist. Here's the Sword Art Online playlist. And I'm like, oh, I listen to that because I'm like, they're fucking bangers.
Yeah.
But a lot of the songs on there are all singles.
Yeah.
Because like the artist will make like say for like Sword Art Online, they're like, oh, can you make an opening for this, you know, anime? It's like, yeah, here's one song. Here you go. And then like 3 years later, I'm like, we have another season of this anime. Can you make a say? Like, yeah, no, I'll do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I'm like, oh, they throw it out there. I'm like, oh, it's like a playlist of like maybe 20 or 30 songs, all from just singles. So I'm like, listen to it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's great. To me, it's, you know, cohesive because I'm like, it reminds me of the series, but I'm like, it's all singles. So that's kind of what's cool about it nowadays. I'm like, you could just make your own playlist. I'm like, oh, these all go together from different artists at different times for me, you know?
Yeah.
It used to be a bad thing because I'm like, I want to listen to this. I'm like, oh, from the artist perspective, maybe they can't do that anymore. So you can just interpret it how you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's I don't know. We're kind of running along here. So maybe just one topic. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right. Thank you for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media. We have a Facebook group. Search the Tone Jerks, or there's a link in the description to join the group. Join it. We're having fun over there. And then we have Instagram at the Tone Jerks. We are so close to 3,000 followers. Like I usually don't do this like begging people, but like please just follow us on fucking Instagram. We're like less than 20 away. I'm like, I will be stoked. And like follow us because you want to or because I beg you.
Yeah. So stupid. Shut the fuck
I know.
up. All right.
I know. As I say it, I'm like, I sound fucking worse. But yeah. So Instagram, hit us up. And then if you really like the show, you can help support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. And you know, there's over like 180 episodes on the Patreon. We got a bunch over there. And
this is 183, right?
Yep.
Or is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
We should do a 183 episode for about Blink 183. It'd be sick.
Yeah, we should do a cover episode about the cover band. Anyway, well, we got all those bonus episodes over there. And then just for the support, we wanted to give you all a huge shout out, a sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list over there?
I got it, and I actually typed it up.
Oh,
this is like first time in all of Tone Jerk's history.
I know. It's dude, it's wild. I don't know if it's not as like was it the it's not as analog as it used to be.
Yeah,
we're going
as raw.
We're going digital.
Yeah, we're going digital to a Word. Like I don't even have Word. I have WordPad that comes with.
Yeah,
but they updated it. This is actually really nice. It used to just be like literally like a box you typed in, but now this kind of looks like Word.
What
so
you didn't
change the font?
You don't get Microsoft Word with Windows?
No, not the version I got.
Oh, that's whack.
So I mean, I could log into my work one and use it, but I don't want to do that. So. Anyways,
just hack it. You're like,
hack it. Yeah, okay. I'm a hacker.
Hacker mode.
Have you seen me? I don't look like a hacker. Not for the movies, at least.
You got your two computers set up, and you got your phone. It's like you're sitting in your chair. The Xbox or X-Men Xbox theme.
Push me. And now,
anyway,
it my satisfaction. Yes, that's the song that plays when I'm typing. All right, so we got Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove, Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast, Abe Newman, Michael Newman, Nicholas Payson, Nicholas Ogburn, Doug King, Doug Christ from 37 Effects, also from what you're laughing over there.
Well, I like how you typed them in the exact same order instead of like,
I did.
You could have just exported the names from Patreon. But you literally typed them out.
I literally typed them up. It's because it's from my soul, dude.
Yeah.
I owe everything to everyone on this list.
I wrote them down once and I'm never again.
Every time I've had to write.
You write them out every episode.
I know, yeah. I wish I could do that.
You know how much paper I've wasted? I keep Dunder Mifflin in business.
A fictitious paper company in business. All right, so Doug Christ from 37 Effects, also from Masters of the Cinematic Universe, also from the Just Surprise Me podcast.
Oh, and
he's a busy guy.
Released his new pedal, the Tombstone Treble Boost.
Oh man!
Which there's a demo on the Tone Control podcast he did on YouTube over there. Go check it out.
Nice. Doug's a busy guy. He's also doing Masters of the Cinematic Universe and it escaped me. Just Surprise Me with Joe from Like My Pedals, and Will also joins in on Just Surprise Me, and Will Lehue, he's the next name I'm reading here.
You give commentary about so I'm reading and talking right now.
Yeah. I'm breathing. I'm looking at the computer screen.
I'm licking my lips right now.
We have Ramyorn, Jamie Davis.
My lips are luscious, in case everybody was wondering.
My DSLs are luscious.
I thank God every day for my luscious lips and my thick hips.
Luscious lips and thick hips.
Yeah.
My wife just looked over at me like, what did you just say?
She's like, don't worry, baby. You know what you got.
Yeah, you married this.
That's why you married this.
Blow her a kiss. Keep that skull, baby.
Keep that skull.
Let's see. Jamie Davis, Johnny Ray, Jason Fuzzmonger, Steve Mike, Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum, Colin Smith, Kevin Equits from Equits Guitars, Co Schneider from the Flip and Flippers podcast, Alvaro Viramontes, Brian Nutter from Nutter Guitars, Mel Chibson of Chibson Guitars, Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop, Sean Fahey from San Antonio.
You hang out with that dude yet or what?
Not yet. Not yet.
You've been there for 10 years.
You can't rush these types of things, okay? All right. When the bro down has to happen naturally.
Yeah.
All right. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig. Hugh G-Rection.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My wife did not look over when I said those names. So
she's like,
those must be normal names I say all the time.
Hugh G-Rection.
Didn't bat an eye.
She's like, yeah, she's like, my cock's big. She just rolls her eyes like, yeah, right.
Yeah. Just liar. All right. Zach Hale. Eric Merrow from YouTube, and also Elm Effects.
Elm Effects.
Yeah, see, I had to type, when I typed it in, I didn't do all caps on ELM.
But he writes it like that.
I know.
It's entrapment, Eric. For morons like me.
Entrapment. This isn't like legal. Like, Your Honor, that's entrapment.
He typed it like that. I'm stupid.
Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop podcast. Tim Nowick from Bardic Audio Devices. Jonathan Jeruzik from 12th Hour Devices. Tyler Rhines from KC's Riff Room. And we got a new one.
Oh,
I like pause, waited for you because you love doing the
wipe out.
We have a new one. It's Matthew Fencelow. I think that's how you say his last name.
Fencelow. He'll probably tell us how much we fucked it up.
Yeah, Fencelow. I'm sticking with Fencelow.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you, everybody. We will see you next time. We love you. Bye.
Bye.